Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, it's my co-host, Nick Mason.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, man.
James, sometimes we translate the pre-show to the regular show.
It's true.
And that was one of my incredible characters from before the show, which is a guy who says, hi, everybody.
And we're going to establish more of that character during the... Because sometimes I like a universe where it's kind of initially like it seems boring and it's not fun. And you're kind of bogged down in it. And then you promise
more and better.
More and wider and bigger things that you'll love.
Maybe I could do an R-rated version of that guy later. Hi, everybody. Shut up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, it hasn't worked. I don't like it. So the moment I said hi, everybody, I didn't like it. But it's great to be here.
But you're committed to it now, aren't you?
Nope. We can cut anything out.
So you can just drop things.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you spend $200 million on it. And the suits demand another one.
Yeah, sure.
And then a cool, edgy R-rated cut later.
Absolutely. Well, of course, we are going to be talking, coincidentally, because I guess you could say that there's some overlap between this and Rebel Moon Part 2, the Scargiver.
Oh, yes.
Do you think?
Maybe.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. But in the meantime...
That's right. This was a clever metaphor the whole time.
Well, I don't get it. But in the meantime, in the build-up, we've got some news that people can skip to if they want to any of this, because there's time codes below. Colin Stars who edits this. We're talking about Tarantino dropping out of his latest project. So you can just stop.
You can just stop if you're scared. If you're Tarantino, when you're scared, you're scared that you might mar your legacy.
Oh, my legacy, man.
Oh, what if my last movie is bad?
Oh, I did a poop and I slipped in the poop. You know what he's like.
Yeah. And now I'm going to stop making a movie critic because no one will respect me on set because I'm covered in poo.
Good luck to him.
Yeah.
Superman casting. Going to talk about Shadow the Hedgehog surprise casting, Mason.
Okay.
An update on the live-action One Punch Man. Trailers ahoy for Transformers 1 and Trap. You want to talk about the Office Reboot. And then,
I picked up on one line in the press release.
And then we've got a Normal Man update via David Zazslav, President and CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, and his 2023 compensation package.
He's earned it, I think.
I think so. They think so. There's a big statement about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me have a drink first.
Have a big drink. Get to that caffeine you love, James.
I will. Okay,
this week we're sponsored by caffeine.
That's right.
Last week you said we couldn't. Last week you were very firm. We can't be sponsored by any soft drink company, any soda pop company.
That's right.
But nothing says we can't be sponsored by caffeine.
Big caffeine.
Big spoonful of caffeine. What's it look like on a spoon? Probably like a white powder, off-white powder kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Get it in your receptors,
That's right. That's right. Deadline are reporting and can reveal that Quentin Tarantino, who's dropped the film, what's the film called again?
The Movie Critic.
The Movie Critic. I cut and pasted a quote here and it's incomplete, which was going to be his 10th and final project. Apparently, he simply changed his mind, Deadline is being told. Now, this will mean that he's probably, or for the time being, not going to revisit this project. He's done this before with The Hateful Eight when it leaked.
And he did it with Pulp Fiction as well.
Second Pulp Fiction 2.
Well, he was going to do the Vega Brothers, if you recall, but he never got around to that. So,
the Vega Boys came out and beat him to it. Venga Boys? I don't know.
The Venga Boys,
Whatever.
That's right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Not all jokes work. Whatever. This gaffer, he's kicking it. It's pretty good.
It's good, right?
Anyway, go on.
Caffeine, big spoon of caffeine. It'll make you angry.
Yeah, it was going to be like John Travolta and Michael Madsen's characters from Pulp Fiction and whatever.
So does that mean that this...
They aged out of it as well.
Yeah, but I mean, also those were in his mind and out in the public eye before social media madness took a hold on all of us. So maybe this one is also similar to that in that it was just, what I had a thought... And wouldn't it be interesting? And I'm looking around and I'm thinking about it, and I've written some ideas on a napkin or whatever.
But what if I didn't?
Right, exactly. And we're all like, this is his next movie.
I think it was supposed to start like principal photography in August. So it was fairly. But I think the bulk of the film was going to be next year. But I think it was quite far along.
Okay, so maybe this is a case of. He got the yips, James.
Maybe he did. So apparently it was set in California in 1977 and based on a guy who really lived but was never really famous, and he used to write movies for a porno rag.
Movie reviews?
Yes.
Okay.
Movie reviews. Don't say that? Yeah, sorry. And apparently the project also morphed into something starring Brad Pitt as a returning Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, etc. So yeah, it's just not happening. So we don't know what his final project's going to be. I would also say, look, I think if it is his 10th, that's a big thing to go out on. If he really means this.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, Quentin Tarantino has said for many, many years that he's only going to do 10 movies.
Yep. But Kill Bill counts as
one movie,
both
yes.
movies,
yeah. If you hear that statement and then immediately look at his filmography, you will see that there's already 10 movies.
Yep.
But that's because he's counting Kill Bill 1 or 2 as one movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was his previous movie, very well received. I think generally we both liked it. I
thought it was all right. Yeah,
I think upon a lot of rewatches, people are like, "Yeah, this is good." My parents liked it.
Well, they don't know anything.
That's true. They don't know anything.
No, I didn't love it.
Okay,
I thought it was kind of meandering. But whatever.
Yeah, but I think
I should go back.
Yeah,
to it.
I like the meandering.
I hate to meander. I want action all the time.
That's because you're on caffeine,
or
man.
wheat thrashing.
This is an intervention, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, I know I
more
let you...
caffeine. James, you're not having enough caffeine.
That's right. That's how we do interventions in Australia. You get a serve of whatever you're addicted to, and then
yeah, that's right. They really
have a go at you for it. Really have one last go.
Yeah.
But has he considered not restricting himself to 10 movies?
Yeah.
You know?
Because I feel like also, and I know most people feel the same, that he doesn't feel like he's peaked and that he's been on the decline. Like, even though I didn't love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's still it's a pretty spectacular movie, you know, and everything else leading up to is the same. And it's interesting because if you ask people what their favorites are, nobody's like definitively this one.
That's right. Yeah.
Everybody's opinion is different. Like a lot of people saying Glorious Bastards, Pulp Fiction. Other people name different movies. Some people say Death Proof, I'd imagine.
Absolutely.
I don't say that.
Yeah.
I think it's just it's a tough thing to wrap up. I think the other thing is, I think he'll eventually just keep making movies. But he could make Kill Bill 3 and be like, this one doesn't count because it's part of a wider narrative.
That's true. We could do that. Yeah. I mean, the narrative of Kill Bill, people have often been saying, okay, well, the bride in Kill Bill kills someone and their daughter remains alive, and so maybe...
And they have a conversation where she's like, why don't you come back and see me if you've got a problem with this?
Then they could do that, exactly, yeah. Oh, yeah, that could absolutely not count. He could do it under a pseudonym.
Yep.
I mean, these days, could you do something? I suppose you could.
Yeah.
You know what he could do? He could release a bunch of, and we've talked about this before, a bunch of, like, asylum cheap knockoff movies kind of thing. Like, he could... I think he could approach one of those kind of modern-day B-movie production studios, distributors, and just say, can I make some stupid films on it for $1 million?
Can I make stupid films for idiots?
Stupid films for idiots. Actually, that reminds me of another piece of news. Did you see that Edgar Wright, also it's Edgar Wright's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Edgar Wright. He's 50 years old.
Happy 50th birthday. Way to be old, dumbass. So go
on. He's doing a remake of The Running Man. Nice. Who did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, with
Glenn Powell.
William Powell, yeah.
And speaking of, that reminded me because that's based on the book by Richard Bachman, who's really Stephen King, if you recall. But the new version is apparently going to be more like leaning towards the book, so less kind of spandexed muscle man with kind of, you know, personas and et cetera. Less like American Gladiators and more like just a guy running around. And I think that's cool.
They should call it that.
Yeah, they should call
it
that.
Just a guy running around.
Just a guy running around. Did you ever see Series 7, The Contenders? Do you remember that movie?
Which was that?
It was from like 2001 maybe, and it was about this mysterious game that people, this sort of mysterious game show that people...
I know this. Have I seen this?
You might have.
Yeah.
You might have seen it. I'm sure I saw it on DVD. I didn't see it in the movies. But it's about like a traditional Running Man style game where you get notified that you're in the game, and then you have to kill all the other competitors. And it's about a woman who is if you win 3 in a row, you get to leave. And it's about a woman who is on her 3rd game and she has to win and get out, but she's also pregnant, and it's a whole thing.
Oh, don't get pregnant in between Running Man games.
That's right.
That's irresponsible.
Yeah. Anyway, Tarantino, I think he should he should release some stuff under a pseudonym or just give up on this.
Yeah.
Just give up on this thing.
Just do it, and then if you make 5 bad ones in a row, you can be like, okay, I'll stop.
I've lost the juice.
Yeah. Self-Reliance is a movie from last year that Jake Johnson stars and directs, where he's a guy who has to survive for a month.
Oh, that's right.
People trying to kill him. It's like a fun version. I really liked it.
But you can't kill someone if they're with people.
Yeah, if he's with somebody. Yeah, they can't. Okay. And so initially it's like, is this even real? Or people don't believe him.
That's right.
He's like, a big cowboy attacked me. And they're like, we don't think that happened.
And that seems like a lie, Jake Johnson.
It's good. I liked it a lot. Cool.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think he should just... give up. But
Just
that's the thing. Also,
do what he wants.
But also,
do whatever you want.
Hollywood people are crazy, and their crazy is reinforced every day by people.
By the beautiful work that they do.
That's exactly right. So I don't think I'm not sure what it would take for him to go, you know what? This thing that I've believed for 20 years and everybody's reinforced, I'm just going to give up on it, I'm just going to make as many movies as I like.
I mean, he's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood book and whatever, he does other materials and things like that, so maybe that's what he's going to do for a while, but I don't know. I also don't think he can. I don't think he can stop.
Yeah, okay, right.
Because this is what he does. He's been doing it for like nearly 40 years. 30 years, whatever it is,
But maybe also he's tied to that idea of like, well, I'll do this and then I'll disappear and I'll become a Hollywood recluse, like Hollywood stars and directors of yesteryear.
He's too much like fucking this.
Oh, yeah.
He can't. I reckon.
James is doing the talky motion with his hand.
Yeah, he can't. It's like, like Johnny Carson just like disappeared.
Yeah,
But Johnny Carson was 110. That's
true.
Tarantino is like maybe 60.
He did come back on that episode of The Simpsons to lift a car over his head.
That's true.
What is that based on, do you think?
I have no idea.
For people that don't know, because this is an episode of The Simpsons.
Is that actually him?
I think it was the voice of Johnny Carson.
Right, okay.
But he came. But there's an episode of The Simpsons from 1,000,000 years ago where Krusty the Clown comes back from a hiatus. He gets cancelled and he comes back.
Yeah.
And one of the guests on his show is Johnny Carson, who decides to lift a car over his head.
A Buick or something.
Yeah. But why?
I don't know.
Was that a common trick in talk shows back in the 60s?
So that was in 1993.
Okay.
So I don't know. Mason's just taking a quick pause, take a bite of a sandwich.
I'm making a
What kind of sandwich is that?
A regular sandwich.
Okay, all right. All right, I know people would have asked, that's all. It's good to get ahead of it.
With caffeine.
Oh, sprinkling of caffeine.
That's right.
Superman casting Mason. This is via the Wrap. So Ma Kent and Pa Kent have both been cast. Ma Kent is Neva Howell, and Pa Kent is Pruitt Taylor Vince.
Sound like a couple of old folks.
They do look like a couple of old folks. I recognise from a bunch of stuff, including the movie Identity with John Cusack.
Okay.
And other things. And
I've got your identity, John Cusack.
Yeah, man, we all know who I am.
Give it back, though.
I think looking at these two, though, they're definitely going for the folksy kind of...
Absolutely.
And like older than like the previous as well, like maybe potentially in their like 70s or 80s, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at this. That's classic Martha Kent.
That's a good one. Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm loving this, man.
They haven't gone with the Marissa Tomei, Aunt May stuff.
No, exactly, yeah. Which, yuck. Why would you go with somebody that hideous?
Oh.
Obviously. Yeah. So, seems like a good choice.
Looks great. They look heart attack ready.
Also, they're alive because sometimes, and I think it's the same, is Superman Birthright? No, Birthright. What are they basing one of these on? All-Star Superman. That's got something to do with this, right? His parents are alive in that, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah. Often they are.
Yeah, I think the most common interpretation of the Superman mythos is they are.
Yeah.
Still, that's what they did in the 80s when they rebooted Superman. They're like, well, his parents are dead, but it'd be nice if he had
parents
and like, even though he's super powerful, he
can go home and be like, God, I got punched so hard by a robot. And they're
well, Clark, have you considered punching that robot even harder? Thanks, Dad. You always got the wisdom for me.
Yeah, that's a classic scene.
That's a good scene.
I remember. I think, movie and often live action Superman. Not always. Dean Cain one wasn't, I think. He always ends up dying. He does, at the very least.
The Parkins, yes.
I think it's the new Superman and Lois. They're both dead. I think it starts that Martha Kent had just died at the start. That's why they moved to Smallville.
Yeah. It's in the intro. Martha Kent's just died, and it's time to go back to Smallville.
This is by THR. Shadow the Hedgehog. In Sonic the Hedgehog 3's voice has been revealed.
Was it Idris Elba?
No, it's Keanu Reeves. No, he's Knuckles the Hedgehog.
Okay, I don't know.
He's Knuckles the Echidna.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Okay, now, was Shadow the Hedgehog...
He's the one with the gun.
Yeah, I know he's the one with the gun, but was he revealed in Sonic 2?
Yes, man.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie.
And Jim Carrey is also back because he was like, I'm retiring from movies. Are you Tarantino? Are you really?
Yes.
But he's going to play Dr. Robotnik.
Okay.
Which is mostly just they filmed Jim Carrey on a green screen and he just like dabs and thrusts about.
Absolutely,
And then they put Sonic in later or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah. So, why not get $5 million to do that for a couple of days?
Yeah, that's right.
Put on a mustache and a bald cap. Good on you. Keanu Reeves, though. I like it. Good choice. They're pretty solid kids' movies.
Yeah, that's right.
They are what they are, which is something we'll probably talk about later as well.
Okay, right. Do you think he's going to use his iconic line, guns, lots of guns?
Yes,
I'm
definitely.
Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, that's so too.
Yeah. I think they're also better movies than the Mario movie.
Having only seen the first Sonic, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's about friendship and whatever.
It's about friendship or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why THR. One Punch Man. You know this movie's happening, don't you?
Now I do.
Action movie.
Now I do.
It's going to be directed by Justin Lin. We already knew that of fame.
Yes.
Fast and Furious.
Franchise,
Yeah.
Fast and Furious franchise fan.
Now, it appears, Rick and Morty creator and co-executive producer Heather Ann Campbell and Dan Harmon will pen the project.
Well.
I only got a little bit into One Punch Man season 2, and I'm like, this has lost me, I think.
Okay.
Season 1 is spectacular.
What lost you
it.
in the second season?
It's just not great.
Okay. Then.
Not as funny. Animation's not as good.
Yeah. More fighting?
I don't know.
More focused on the fighting?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I remember the first season very well, but the second one not as much.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great show, and there might be a third season at one point. I don't know. So there you go. One Punch Man, Western adaptation of an anime.
Still no star attached.
No.
We need the most average man alive.
What's that dude? He plays Jimmy Woo.
Oh, Randall Park.
Yeah, man.
He's too handsome. We've discussed
Shave
this.
his head. It's fine. Shave his head and his eyebrows. He'd look weird.
Okay, that would work, I guess.
Look
Yeah.
weird, Mason.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want somebody like Tobey Maguire, but obviously not Tobey Maguire.
Obviously.
Like the blandest man you can imagine.
Absolutely.
But Asian. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where you go with that.
We'll soon
We'll
learn.
find out.
Do you think he's even going to be Asian? Do you think they're going to westernize this?
Yes. I think he'll
Okay.
definitely be Asian.
Interesting.
And
okay.
yeah, you probably should, But, I'm sure a lot of people have
Scarlett Johansson.
what if Black Panther was white, though? Yeah, what if?
What about Emma Stone from that movie?
That's a good idea.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. That's good stuff, probably. I don't know. Trailers ahoy, Mason.
Trailer time.
2 big trailers 2 times a day.
They're getting stuck in the Suez Canal.
That's right.
That's a current reference.
Very current. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Trap first?
Now, for people who haven't seen this trailer, it's the new M. Night
Don't.
Shyamalan movie. Yeah, well, I would say don't. I would say the premise, or at least the premise that we're being allowed to see is spoiled in the trailer.
Yes.
So if you want to go into this movie, if you're like, I love M. Night Shyamalan, I don't want to be spoiled by anything. I just want to go in fresh. We are going to talk about the premise, which they sort of reveal in the trailer.
Yeah, man.
So we're going to talk about that. So maybe skip ahead a couple of minutes. I don't know.
There's the time codes.
There's time codes.
Yep.
And then skip ahead another 30 seconds because sometimes the time codes are out.
Sometimes there's ads and whatever.
Right.
We don't control what ads you say. Yeah. What's the premise?
Okay, so the premise is...
What do you think the premise was?
Well, it's Mr. Josh Hartnett. He's having a renaissance.
He's having a Hartnessance.
The Hartnessance is here.
Hartnessance attack.
That's right. He is playing a father who is taking his, I guess, tween daughter to a concert.
Yep.
With a pop star concert, and she's very excited.
Oh, my God.
The seats they got, they slap, which is good dialogue, I think, for young people.
And they're like, look, it's my favorite pop star, generic...
That's a sleigh.
Yeah.
That's a sleigh that I'm here with you, Dad. That's a sleigh. That pop star is played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go. Who's got her own movie coming out,
That's
actually.
right, yeah.
Which we talked about, and I thought it was him, because I think it was like from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Sorry, anyway. So
they're very excited. They're at a concert, but then Josh Hartnett's character, Mr. Dad, he notices that there's seems to be a big police presence forming up outside the arena, and he asks a staff member what's going on, and the guy reveals that the police have received a tip-off that there is some sort of the famous butcher, serial killer. He's at the concert, and they're going to get him. They're going to search everybody on the way out, and they're going to get this butcher, which is a little bit of a problem for Josh Hartnett because he's the butcher.
Yeah,
maybe,
and that's what he says to the guy.
Yeah, he's like, but that's me though.
I'm the butcher.
Yeah, they're going to get me,
now,
and I don't want that.
Is the twist
the point of being a serial killer is you don't get caught?
Is the twist going to be that both him and his daughter are the butcher?
Maybe,
yeah.
Or she's the butcher.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's
and he's encouraging her hobbies.
Yes, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody.
I love ruining movies for people
and ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's think about it too much before it comes out.
Yeah, man.
Also,
if he's the butcher, you just walk out. They go, "You're the butcher."
No. Can't prove it.
Do you have any knives on you?
No. Why would I take all my murder killing knives to the concert? That wouldn't be a sleigh, would it? It'd be a sleigh of a different kind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, and they'd be like, well, this is a young person, clearly. We'll let them through. Yeah, so we see him look at, he's got on his phone, he's got access to a basement camera for his house, and there's somebody tied up in there, some victim. So the trailer suggests that he is this butcher, and they're going to get him. And how's he going to get out of this bucket of syrup, you know?
Just walk out like everybody else. Like everybody else.
Like everybody else, he could do that. Yeah. But are there more twists to come?
No.
You know?
No.
You don't think so? Okay,
no, that's the only twist.
That's true.
And they get him.
Yeah. My guess would be, like you said, maybe the daughter is the killer.
Yep.
Maybe he's helping the killer under duress somehow. He's being set up. Somebody suggested maybe the little girl's a vampire.
Sure, I mean that's the year for it.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't know. I'm excited for this. This looks good. Having been a M. Night Shyamalan hater for many, many years, he's redeemed himself in my eyes.
I like his
with
stuff,
Old
yeah.
and Cabin by the Woods.
Cabin Man.
Cabin. The next, we're knocking at the cabin.
The transforming cabin.
The cabin. Knock at the cabin.
Cabin. We're here to get you. We're going to kill you.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that one. So yeah, there you go. That's out August 9th. Might do an episode on it, or we might not. We don't know. Tell us.
It depends what's out on Netflix.
Depends if there's another Rebel Moon movie that
there
week.
will be. I mean, at this rate, there'll be another one.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, they're coming hot and fast, aren't they?
I mean, hot
and fast.
Yeah.
Second trailer's ahoy.
That's right.
For Transformers 1. I was very much looking forward to this because I was like, wow, I would love a movie in the style of the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee and nothing else.
And this is sort of that, but very much not
really.
No.
This is more like DreamWorks' Transformers.
It is, yeah.
So for me, this is not a version of Transformers that I want to see.
No.
But I showed my son and he's like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I said, well, what about me being a great dad? And he just left. He didn't say anything.
Wow.
Just left the room.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
That's
Am I in trouble?
No, it's fine. Has he come back since?
No.
He's still probably fine. Yeah. Just walk out when the cops arrive.
Yeah.
When the cops surround your house, just walk out.
Just walk out. Yeah. Use some lingo. Well, this is a young person.
That's a sleigh.
It's very much kind of, well, that just happened kind of.
It's very
vibe,
very tonally that.
Yeah.
Big time voice cast, as we know. Chris Hemsworth as Orion Pax, who's going to become Optimus Prime, and Brian Tyree Henry and others.
Keegan-Michael Key.
Oh, that's right, yes.
Scarlett Johansson,
Scarlett Johansson is RC, yeah. Or whatever
Transformer
that
lady
is.
Transformer they go. I think it's RC.
Yeah. Could be Elita 1, but it's RC color. It's the RC pink color.
Apparently, though, this trailer from the people who are at CinemaCon as well, and people have talked about it, it is darker than you'd think. Like, it takes a turn because, it has to become Megatron, and they establish that they're mates.
Yeah, that's
and they're
right.
like, why are you always getting me into adventures? And he's like, I just like having adventures with you. I'm sorry, but aren't we having fun? And then at the end, he's like, I'll kill you. I turn into Megatron. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
No, don't do that.
I'll kill you.
Oh.
My best mate's Starscream now, who sucks, but he's my best mates.
But he sucks up to me a lot. I like that.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to the attention. Oh, matey Megatron.
See?
Yeah. You never called me mighty, did you? You called me D16 the dickhead. You called me Dickless D16. It's actually rude.
It is actually.
I know you're doing it in fun, but it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts.
You don't have a dick either. You're a robot.
Dickless too.
You're a robot.
God, what a world! What a universe!
All right.
Apparently, and look, I've seen people talk about various Easter eggs. It is heavy on Transformers lore and various things, and like, oh, it's that guy and this thing and whatever.
Sure.
God,
guy. This is good analysis. This is good trailer analysis. What I would say, tonally not for me. It's for kids.
Yeah.
There's no reason to get upset.
No, I'm already upset. I'm not going to lie. When I first watched it, I was like, that is disappointing to me specifically.
Yeah. It's not, if you're expecting kind of that kind of, like you said.
I just want the 10 minutes of Bumblebee, mate.
I know
Even the designs, like, I don't particularly love the designs in this either.
No, they're pretty basic, aren't they?
Yeah. And I think that's probably because then they can make a Netflix series using the models and whatever.
And of course, it's got the same. It's got the plot progression of most of these. I'm guessing a Kung Fu Panda and a Teenage Kraken and all these movies where it's like, we can't even transform. Well, you're going to unlock the power to transform. Well, I don't even know how to transform. I'm doing it. I'm transforming we've done it. You know,
Yeah, we did
kids
it.
love that.
Initially, I didn't have a handle on this, but I did.
Now I do.
Now
And I'm
now I
going to
got-
win.
Yeah. And look, I guess because I love the movies like Spider-Verse, the latest Ninja Turtles, you know what I mean? Like things like that, like that they take kids' properties and maybe this is that, but I don't get the sense of that from this, that this is going to be something that I'm going to love.
I wonder if some people are mad that in
Me specifically.
in this continuity, Transformers aren't created straight away with the ability to transform.
Yeah.
Because
Are some not in the thing? In the thing?
I feel in most continuities, so in
Why
most...
is Megatron D16 and Orion Pax gets a name? Why isn't he...
I think because D16 is like a mining robot or something. Or
and Orion Pax's parents were rich.
That's exactly right, yes.
US, I could tell. I could tell by the way he's
got a nice,
strutting about.
He's got a nice colorway.
Yeah.
You know?
Where's your faceplate, idiot, as well?
Yeah.
Then when he turns into... I know, it comes on and off in different versions.
Yeah,
he's going to get the faceplate, right?
Yeah, but I mean, how can you do a DreamWorks face if you can't see the mouth? Because you've got to do a smirk. Here's the DreamWorks face, James. Now here it is covered in a faceplate.
That's better, actually.
Yeah, I guess
just
it is.
It covers some of your face.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyways,
I get it.
September 13th.
We shan't be watching it, probably.
Nah, I'll be watching it.
Okay,
I'm 100% going to watch it.
Are you going to have to watch it with your kids?
Which I don't mind. It's Transformers. I mean, we're still getting our G.I. Joe Transformers movie.
The one we want.
I don't want that. I want the 10 minutes of Bumblebee, but in a full movie. Yeah.
I strongly suspect if somebody took that 10 minutes of Bumblebee and just looped it for 2 hours, you wouldn't notice.
I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. All right, so The Office Reboot is getting a reboot.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
it's
James,
sort of
it's
reboot.
not getting a reboot, is it?
No, it's not.
That's the twist.
So it's going to be 2 cast members have joined, including Domhnall Gleeson, who's from Star Wars and Ex Machina.
Favourite of the show.
Donuts
Gleeson.
That's right. And the other one is Sabrina Impacciatore. I can't do that. I'm so sorry. She's from the White Lotus season 2.
That's right.
These are 2 great choices. Not who I'd expect to be in an Office reboot, except Mason. Is this not a reboot at all?
James, it's not a reboot. Guess what?
What?
It's
Am I an idiot for thinking that?
You are an idiot. But I love this part of
For thinking that?
Yes, you are. And for other reasons. But my favourite part of the press release was they were like, it's not a reboot. It's a new story set in the same universe. So Earth. The universe of Earth.
Yeah.
You know?
But this one has Ed Helms in it and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, our universe has Ed Helms, doesn't
That's
it?
right, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Who's going to carry over? They're going to be like, Jim's here.
I reckon
Jim's
Rainn
here.
Wilson will make an
Yeah.
appearance.
And Jim's here.
And Jim's here.
Even though he runs a giant sporting conglomerate management firm or something now. He lived his dream.
I don't think he could go back to that hair.
No.
Like I don't think he's physically capable of it.
He didn't.
I think he's done so much exercise that now he can't
his
do that.
hair won't do
his
it.
hair won't return to that
He can't
state.
reach his hair even from his
clearly
big
right.
biceps.
That's right.
Well, he got rid of that hair many seasons ago into the Office.
Yeah, but people don't remember that. So if they were going to bring Jim back, he'd have to have that hair.
That's true. You know, one season he had a wig because he had to have a different hair because he made a George Clooney football movie or something.
Did he?
Yeah. So he's got a wig. He's got a Jim wig.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. What a haircut.
Yeah.
Everybody had that haircut. Him, Zachary Levi, your best friend from college. They all had it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
People would go into their hair salon, and all the girlies would ask for the Rachel from Friends, and all the blokes would ask for the Jim from The Office.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's how it went.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Let's look forward to it.
Yeah. What happened to that Australian reboot of The Office that they promised?
Isn't that happening still?
Maybe.
Isn't that recently?
I think they filmed it. Where is it?
They filmed it. Oh, you would know. You know, comedian.
I think they filmed it.
Yeah.
So where is it?
I don't know.
Where is it?
Who's the lead?
Amazon Prime. I'm not
Who's
going to
the
look.
lead?
Felicity Ward.
So what is it exactly?
It was something to do with work from home.
Oh, okay.
Like the premise was that everybody was working from home during lockdowns, and then the office demands they all come back or something like that.
I like Felicity Ward.
Yeah.
But how many of these Office reboots are actually good?
Some to none. Some to none.
I love that, Mason.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move it along to our final bit of news. This is via Variety. David Zaslav, who people might know as president and CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery.
I call him the Zazza.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He had a 2023 pay package worth of $49.7 million which was up 26.5% from the prior year. This is according to a company's 2024 proxy statement filed Friday. Zazlav's compensation totaled $39.3 million in 2022 after he received an astonishing $246.6 million, which included $203 million in stock option grants in 2021.
Oh, my God. That's a lot of light blue shirts with a navy puffy vest over the top,
Oh, my
you know
God.
what I mean?
An infinite amount, potentially.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Now, people are like, why is this happening? Because aren't you doing layoffs and, like, cancelling movies and doing a bad job?
Yeah, that's what they want.
No, they say this to what you said. 2023 was a challenging year for WBD and the media and entertainment industries as a whole. This
That's
is a company
wappy
said.
birthday.
Yeah. Company said via proxy filing. Put a name to this, you dogs. We were impacted by the changing landscape of advertising spending and continued weaknesses in the advertising marketing overall. Declines in linear...
Someone else's fault.
Declines in linear television viewing, increased competition from other traditional media companies, and the enhanced presence of large technology companies in the media space, lingering effects of COVID-19 pandemic on the movie theater attendance, and the other general macroeconomic conditions. It's also...
General
macroeconomics.
Wow.
Macroeconomics.
This is actually the fault of first-year macroeconomics at uni, is what it is.
It's also cited that the once-in-a-generation work stoppage last year, that's also because of that. So it's been a challenging year. But despite all these challenges, the board's compensation committee believes our CEO and other named executive officers provided exceptional leadership and delivered on several financial, operational, and strategic priorities, Warner Brothers Discovery said via their proxy statement.
Proxy statement, cowards.
Fucking
Incredible.
believable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go, failing upwards.
Well, I mean, as I understand it, his compensation, I read this, is attached to cash flow.
Yeah.
So he's increased the cash flow, which is to say he's sold off a bunch of stuff and
stopped, cancelled things.
Cancelled a bunch of stuff. So there's more money freed up. 'Cause
Yeah.
Warner Brothers has a lot of debt that they got to pay off. So he's been doing that.
Smart.
It's very smart.
Proxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, by the end of this, like in a couple of years, they won't be making anything. But that's not important.
No, he'll be gone by then.
Yeah, that's right.
He's made a big raft out of his puffy vest and he's escaping.
That's exactly right.
God.
Yeah, really good stuff. Really,
Unbelievable.
really good.
There's the problem here is obviously they haven't prioritized making good content.
Yeah.
Because like that's really what you need to keep these companies afloat ultimately. But maybe they'll pivot back to that at some point. Do you think? They'll look at a quarterly earnings and go, maybe we should pivot.
I think they'll
360
sell
and go back. Yeah, no, they're probably going to sell it.
Yeah.
Or buy something else. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Their acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery, that worked out so well.
It seemed to have. God,
Really
that's
good.
so much money. If they were like, they paid me $246 million in the first year,
Yeah.
I would just, and I wanted to do this job, I'd just be like, that's enough.
Yeah.
I will just work for as long as you need me to work.
How would the number go up then? The number in your bank account that you look at. You just stare at your
Well, you
phone
just put
and
in
go,
the
number gone up.
That's the amount of money where if you put it in the bank and just left it,
Yeah.
the interest would.
Okay, but there's another guy you know at the golf club. And
What's his name?
It doesn't matter. You don't know his name, but his
Okay.
number keeps going up faster than your number.
Faster than my number.
That's embarrassing.
Do
for
we do
you.
similar jobs?
Yeah, ish. You're both the CEO, CCO. You know,
Okay.
you're that guy.
Do we look mostly the same?
Yeah, you both got a puffy vest on. Yeah,
And big fake teeth.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Good and great.
Yeah, nice.
Let's talk about something else.
Okay.
Maybe Rebel Moon 2?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Well,
Yes,
a
well.
mere 4 to 5 months maybe after Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child on Fire.
That's right.
We've got Rebel Moon - Part 2, The Scargiver. Now on a budget of $166 million, and that's between two movies.
Oh.
Smart.
Yeah, sure.
It's actually, to credit the people behind this movie,
That's right.
it's pretty impressive that they've managed to make a 4-hour movie with that budget.
Yeah, I guess.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Now, in terms of box office, there is no box office because
That's
this is direct to streaming. But presumably, if it's anything like the first one, everybody in the world watched it.
Everybody watched it, and if you translate that directly to ticket sales,
Yeah.
because everybody who watched it on Netflix, because they were like, "Oh, what's on? Oh yeah, I'll do this while I'll watch this while I do the dishes."
Yep.
They would buy tickets.
Yeah.
At the cinema, they would all buy tickets, and we'll make it $200 million.
That's right.
$300 million.
I know in my real life, two people who watched the first one.
Okay.
One was my brother, the one you don't like, and he liked it.
Yeah, that sounds
Another
about
one
right.
was a friend of mine. But that is it. I've never heard anybody mention this
It's in real life,
in any
IRL.
context. Yeah. What about you?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Never.
And we move in those circles.
That's true, yeah.
Rebel Moon of Circles. Anyway, it's not doing super well critically, 18%, which I think might be Snyder's lowest.
But it's just out, so
just
there's
out.
time
This'll
for
change and
new,
whatever.
other reviewers to redress that balance and
That's
so
right.
forth,
And a audience score of 48%, which doesn't necessarily mean anything really. The movie doesn't live or die on critics or audience scores from a website.
No, it survives on the love. The audience, they bloody love it.
Yeah.
Now
normally, Mason, I would throw to you and say, what do you think the story was?
And I'll be like, come on, man.
He's never ready.
I just woke up, man. God.
Yeah. Well, look, the good thing is, Mason, that they actually recap the first movie at the start of this movie.
That's true, they did.
And so I'm just going to read that to everybody. This is via Jimmy the Robot.
Voiced by
Anthony Hopkins.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
On the far edges of the Motherworld's reach, circling the gas giant Mara, was the small moon of Veld. There, a village of humble farmers lived a simple life, born of the earth until the shadow of a warship fell upon their fields. The ship commander, Admiral Noble, demanded more than little else people could give. So it was that a woman named Cora.
Grain.
So it was that a woman named Cora and a man named Gunnar set forth from the village to gather
their names?
Yeah, set forth to gather warriors to stand against the dreadnought. On near Woody, they were joined by the mighty Tarak. In the mines of Dagus, the fierce Nemesis. In the Colosseum of Pollux, the wayward General Titus. And on the planet Sharam, Darian Bloodaxe and his lieutenant Milius. In the ambush on the floating docks of Gondoval, Cora triumphed over the Admiral
Can I
Noble.
stop you there? Just if you can pause for a moment. I think it'd be funny if Anthony Hopkins misspoke a bunch of times in the opening crawl and then just kept it in. I think that would be really funny.
Would you
on the planet Milius. Keep going.
No, that was a person.
Okay.
Leaving, Cora triumphed over Admiral Noble, leaving his shattered body on the rocky coastline.
Got him.
Victorious warriors returned to Veld.
That's the end of him.
Yep, to recollect their pay. The threat of the dreadnought is not extinguished, or so they believe.
Also, Charlie Hunnam was there.
Yeah,
he betrayed him. He was Han Solo.
He was Han Solo, but he was betraying Han Solo.
That's right.
He didn't Han Solo all the way around.
We're up to 62 reviews on the Tomatometer.
Yep.
Tomatometer, the Tomatometer.
Yep.
Still at 18%.
Okay. No.
Just no? We could have watched anything this week, by the way. We could have given an in-depth review of any number of wonderful series that have been dropped in full. I could have finished watching Invincible.
Yeah.
There's other movies out I think we could have talked about late night with the
Did you finish
Devil.
Fallout?
I did finish Fallout. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later,
But instead we were like, let's stay at home.
Abigail.
Oh, yeah, the movie Abigail, horror movie Abigail is doing quite well. But you know what? I say we had to do this, but honestly, I was relishing giving this a kicking.
Gosh. Well, you went into it with the wrong mindset,
No,
Mason.
you know what I did? I'm like, you know what? And again, once again, the last time we thought, okay, this is Zack Snyder's baby.
He's off the leash.
He's off the leash.
Well, not entirely, because
Netflix-
there's an even more off the leash one coming.
Yeah, Netflix have given him unlimited money to make whatever he wanted to make. He could hire whoever he wanted. He could put in whatever ideas. He's not tied to a DC
He could make a horse and then change it to a slightly different alien horse.
Exactly, that's right. He could do anything he wanted. And in the last one, we watched it and we're like, I wish this was good, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And with this one, again, I went into this like I heard some positive things. Like
it's more action, whatever.
He's found his feet here. You know, we've settled in. We know who all the characters are.
No,
we don't. Well, we do.
No,
we know the character that there is.
Which one?
All of them.
Oh, okay.
They're the same.
Oh, they.
And this is the one, like, we're settled in the universe. You know, because people constantly, you know, the debate is always raging, what's better, Star Wars A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back? But a lot of people say the second one is where it really hits its stride, kind of thing, you know, with the benefit of many years of hindsight. Well, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
So maybe Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver is the one. Well, it's not.
No.
It's worse.
In some ways it's worse, but also to be honest, I don't remember as much of the first one. I don't remember much of it at all. I remember not liking it. I probably should have listened to our review to get kind of caught up.
In a couple of weeks' time, I think you will remember more of the first one than you do of this one.
You're probably right, yeah. So it starts with they thought Ed Skrein was dead because his body was shattered upon the rocks of Corbin Dallas.
Admiral Noble.
Yep.
But what if he came back?
Yeah. And they're like, he's dead, which means that everybody on his ship has to go home.
Yeah, the rule
because that's imperial procedure.
Imperial procedure.
Imperialist procedurist.
That's right. By the order of the imperialist procedurist. we've filled in all the forms, and now we have to go back. So apparently the rule is that if your admiral is killed, even if it's, by the skin of his teeth is killed, you can't then just nuke the site from orbit, which we'll talk about, I think, ultimately,
Also, if she knows that because she's part of the Imperial paralysis, why does she bring the cast of Rebel Moon into Rebel Moon Part 2 back to the village? You don't need to do that because as far as you know, Ed Skrin is fucking dead, which means nobody's coming, which means you can disband. Were they coming to have a wheat threshing party?
They had a nice time during Rebel Moon Part 1, and they're like, let's all chill out. Let's all chill out on a big wooden table, around a big wooden table, and we'll tell each other our origin stories, which don't connect to each other at all.
Yeah.
And I think that's great character work.
But you know what? Okay, we're just doing all spoilers. So there is a scene, and apparently it's a carryover from Justice League, because Zack Snyder spoke to THR and he said he wanted to do a Last Supper moment in Justice League 2, where it's been 10 years since previous Justice League, and they sit around the table and they're like, this is what happened to me in the previous 10 years or whatever.
That's symbolism.
And they do that here, except all of their stories are, I was in a fight and then all my people got fucking nuked from space.
And then I left.
That's everybody's stories. Yeah, they had a spaceship and they shot everybody I know.
And guess what? Back then I had long hair, but now I have short hair. Well, that's really interesting because back then I had short hair and now I have long hair because that's character development.
Well, back then I had regular arms and now I've got robot arms.
That's right.
Don't cut your arms off.
No, don't do that. I don't think it's worth it. I reckon you could probably swing those light swords or whatever, the hot swords. I reckon you could do it with your regular arms.
What's her name? The Scargiver just wraps on up in like a towel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty great.
Yeah. But also, the bad guy, continues to be Ed Skrin. I know there's bigger threats to the galaxy.
Because he's back from the dead. They put him in a chrysalis.
Yeah.
And now he's back.
He comes out and he goes...
And guess what? Now he's slightly stronger.
Yeah, and he's like, guess what? I've got a scar. And they're like, oh, we're sorry we didn't fix your scar. And he's like,
that's all right. Actually, it's character development, actually.
Yeah, well, don't worry, because I know the Scargiver to me this scar, but that's going to be great for later when I present her to the Imperial Paralysis. And I'll be like, look.
And I can go, the Scargiver.
Yeah, man, it's going to be cool.
Hey, Ed Skrin, he keeps talking. He's trying to make the Scargiver work. I reckon we should give him this one because he got hit really hard in the head in the last one. So I reckon just be nice. Go, the Scargiver. That's a cool nickname.
That's a great name. It's also, it doesn't even roll off the tongue. It's the Scargiver. It doesn't work for me, Mason. Also, we find a little bit of backstory about the Scargiver, where she was supposed to protect the king and queen and the princess, and her adopted father, who's the new emperor of the galaxy or something. He's still out there, by the way.
Yeah.
He seizered the king and queen, and then so she was like, now we're like, you should shoot the princess. And so she does. And then they betray her. They're like, she killed the princess. And she's like, oh, no. But also, you fucking did. You did it. We all saw it.
We saw it. It wasn't an unreliable narrator backstory. It's what happened. We saw it. I mean, luckily...
Somebody told you to do it and you did it.
Luckily, the princess has a magic power where she just won't die.
She's not dead.
They didn't even have to put her in a chrysalis.
No,
she
you
just
don't
came
need
back.
to. I mean, we don't know that. There's probably some kind of light chrysalis she's in.
Yeah. Anyway, in this movie, Admiral Noble, Ed Skrin, he's come back and he's like, well, actually, because I did die, but I'm come back and we're going to get that village.
Also, he was alive at the end of the last movie because he had a phone call at the end.
That's true, he did, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
In this one...
No twist there.
No, they're like, we're back and we're going to get everybody in this village. Just by the way, though, you might think out of revenge we'd nuke this facility from orbit, this entire village, but we can't. We have to go down individually because they have grain.
Yeah.
And we can't. If we destroy the village with our quantum laser beam or whatever, we'll destroy the grain. And we can't produce grain.
No.
We can bring a man back from the dead.
Yeah.
And we can warp across the galaxy.
Using coal.
And we've got giant lasers but we need grain.
Yeah.
We can't make grain.
No. Or go somewhere else for grain. Also, at the end, he's just like, just shoot the grain. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the grain. So people have talked about this. There's a very long and slow motion wheat threshing scene.
That's right.
Which I tell you what, if that was me, I would have slow motion hay fever for just forever.
You know what is interesting
just
as well?
that.
In that recap you did from Jimmy the Robot or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He does
that
say,
is his name.
He does say the empire, they demanded more from this village than they could provide, but they very conveniently say the grain. They wanted too much grain, and this village only had some amount of grain. This works, I think, if you
If it's a Western,
it
like
works
a regular...
But even if it were just like a future Western on that planet, and it's
contained.
and it's some bandits and they're trekking.
Well, that's the idea normally, right?
Yeah, and it's like some space horses and they're trekking across and they're like, "We'd like your grain, please.
We'll be back in a week.
We'll be back in a week," and it's
worked in the Three
and
Amigos,
and they're villainous and they're bandits, but they're starving as well because they're hungry for grain and they need it because otherwise they just wander out into the desert and die. These guys are they're in orbit.
Yeah,
they can fly anywhere.
Yep,
like it's such a stupid premise that it feels like it started. I think it came from one or two directions. One, it started as a more Earth level, like a ground level premise, where it is.
Well, it was a Star Wars pitch.
Yeah, it's like these low level bandits besieging a town, and then they expanded it out to outer space.
It's the Magnificent Seven, etc.
And I think potentially the heroes, they went to different towns on this planet, but then they're like, no, got to make it bigger. Or I wonder if the original premise was that this small rural village mined like an unobtainium style thing, like some sort of valuable mineral that powers warp drives or something like that. But then somebody said, "Oh, like Avatar," and they went, "No, it can't. Well, we can't do that because it's like Avatar." Okay, so we'll say it's grain. And that's earthy.
I mean, you could say space grain even.
Space grain.
It's fine, you know. Yeah. I mean, okay, so. Just to come back to
I also want to say, just before we get into it...
we're not?
This movie has a bunch of like tropes and action beats that you see in a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
And I think we're probably going to be critical of a bunch of stuff in this movie, and people would probably respond to a bunch of it like, well, all the Marvel movies have these tropes, and, a bunch of classic cinema has all these tropes.
Some DC movies have them.
But the thing about it is they would be fun in a movie that is fun.
Yeah.
But this movie isn't fun.
And like you said, it's the same character.
Yeah. It's all, well, so like there are tropes in this movie like, okay, well, there's going to be a countdown and the battleship is going to fire its main gun and destroy the village, and all the rest of the team of good guys, they're racing to get somewhere and they have to shut a thing down or blow up a generator or something like that.
Fly into a canyon.
And that's an absolute classic premise that I'm sure has been used in a bunch of Marvel movies and Star Wars movies. And
sometimes in a Marvel movie, they say that they're doing a Star Wars movie.
Exactly, that's right. But I think if we were on board with these characters and we cared about these characters, you'd be like, I'm on board with this.
Yeah,
there's a moment,
exactly.
There's a moment where, two of the characters, they're like, okay, we're grossly outnumbered and we're going to make a last stand against this huge army, and they're there and they
Darian Axeblood.
Exactly, and then they crest the hill and they're like they're going to be doomed. Another character like jumps in, and
he's on a griffin maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Or like the guy jumps in and they're like, oh, now we've got backup and this guy's cool and he's interested.
I think they tried that with the robot. You're forgetting they did that.
No, that's what I'm saying. The robot. That's
okay, right.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But it's like, I don't care about any of these people, so it doesn't. If these two characters, I'm like, well, these two are a couple of lovable rogues, and they're different.
This one looks sort of like Furiosa.
Exactly. Like I'd be like, oh God, they're either they make a sacrifice and I'm going to be sad that they're gone, or something's going to turn around and they're going to win and I'm going to be happy for them.
Yeah.
But because I don't care
or know anything about them,
it doesn't.
Or when you sort of, I guess a surface level thing.
It doesn't matter whether they bravely die in service of this battle, or somebody shows up and is like, oh, you didn't expect me to be here, and then they turn the tide and they win. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because they're nothing characters.
Absolutely.
They've got, all the characters are just a guy who is stoic and dour.
Yeah, and he's somebody who knew got hit with a space laser from space.
Yeah, all there, we talked about it. They all sit around the table and they explain their
after they get
backstories.
their presents. Dog shit, by the way.
Oh, a tapestry. Great.
Oh, it's got the sun on it because I'm like the sun. This could be for any of us. Right. This is generic.
You made 12 of these with different pictures on them, and you're
like a space lion because you've got the heart of a space lion.
Right, I'm going to roll that up and put it in one of my kitchen drawers, and I'm going to find it when I move next.
But also, okay, so Jimon Honsu, who is probably my favorite character in this because I like him so much. Because he's stoic. Yeah. So his backstory was that he ran one of those ships and he refused to fire on a village. Mm-hmm. So they sat him down and they watched all his men from the Borelesis get nuked from space. And he's like, no. But I'm also like, aren't all of these guys bad guys? Because don't you go up later in the ship and you pretend to be dead and then the medics come in and then you kill all the medics?
Yeah.
So which of these people, are they bad or am I supposed to care?
So they're either like medics. They're either being forced into the role of serving the Emperor even though they want to be out helping people and you've killed innocent people, or they're evil doctors and who are maybe performing evil experiments or whatever, and you kill them and it's fine. So either way, But so much of this, we see their origin. What I think is interesting, speaking of, tropes are tropes and every movie has to have these things. And
you're quick with a trope, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's how they pull them off. Like in the original Guardians of the Galaxy, which is has something of a similar vibe to this. All the characters are going on their own adventures and they team up because their circumstances cross paths with one another.
And their goals align.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, well, I guess we have to work together, and then the action takes place. In this, it's just like, well, they all
got visited.
They all got visited and they all had origins. None of their origins work together in any way. None of them used to be enemies, but now they have to work together.
Some might know each other. I think the Scargiver knows Jimon Honsu, I think. Isn't that right?
Well, there's probably a line where it's like, we used to
do a thing together.
Yeah, but I mean, none of it.
And also, why is he a good guy? Because he left. Because some of them are probably good people who just haven't left yet.
That's probably
true.
But
you can kill them. It's fine.
Exactly, yeah.
One of my notes here is just the aesthetic is fucked. I think I talked about this last time. I don't remember. But there's a moment we get a flashback to the guy who was a prince and he rides the griffin and he's wearing like a flat cap and a robe and there's like a griffin tackling a spaceship in a fucking cyberpunk city or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Just a nightmare of ideas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just all mushed together and there's no cohesion to it. It's just like, you know what's cool? Fucking this kind of cloak.
Well,
what's cool? Griffins.
That's Zack Snyder's whole deal. It's like, you know what's cool? And so much
everything at once.
Everything at once. And so much of it is just slow motion. And I'll tell you what else upset me about this movie. Not upset. First of all, it's kind of lucky that these farmers are as good or better at fighting and shooting than like hundreds of professional soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
There's a scene where they're like, oh, well, we're going to teach you how to shoot. And the first farmer just gets out the gun and just bullseyes a bunch of. Oh, looks like you're all really good at this. Oh, now here's how to fight with a close in. Oh, you're all very very strong.
Swing it. Yeah, I get
it. All the good guys are like these gun fu ninjas.
Yeah,
and they're all the bad guys. Are just nothing.
I don't even think the choreography is great.
No, it isn't. It's not
like
interesting.
Fine, right?
There's so many scenes of just a character walking through a corridor. The good guys get this, and Ed Skrein gets this, where they're just walking through a corridor and they just walk
head
through,
twist.
Yeah, head twist, and they just the good guys employed the tactic of like walking through a corridor and shooting, and the bad guys are like, how can we fight against this?
Yeah.
They just all just cop a bunch of bullets there. But then Ed Skrein has a similar scene where he's just walking through a trench.
Yeah.
And he just shoves people aside and punches them, and they can't. It's not interesting.
No, it's really not. Also, the battle starts at, the first shot at an hour and 5, roughly.
Great.
And then there's various fightings going on. And they do split up and do various teams. But there's a moment where you think that they're like, we won, we did it. The people on the ground, because they go do various things. We did it. And then they're like, oh no, what's coming? It's a tank.
Yeah.
Like there's a singular tank here. You probably got this. I mean, you got Jimmy the robot, who also they've been kind of building up. It's like a minute of him doing like karate or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, he's spinning in a circle.
He's spun in a circle. He's like, I'm actually going to fight. Yeah, we figured that out 2 movies ago.
Maybe you could have done that before all our friends got killed. All the disposable guys at the back, maybe. There's a moment where Jimon Honsu's character, he's charging at like a platoon of bad guys, of generic soldiers, and the first guy, he just grabs him and he like flips him over and body slams him, even though Honsu's got a gun and there's like 30 more guys.
Because they could just shoot him while he's doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's one of those decisions made on the day where Zack Snyder's like, with the stunt guys, and he's like, hey, can you flip? Yeah. Maybe you flip a guy and that'll look cool.
Can you flip a guy?
Can you flip a guy?
Yeah. So while on the ground stuff is happening, the Scargiver and her mate who dies, they go on sneak aboard because they pretend to be injured, whatever. And there's a moment where she just drops into like the engine room and there's just dudes shoveling fucking coal. And I'm just like, did you fucking think about You don't even want to put like specks of green in it. Right. So it's like a space fucking coal. And it probably is.
Yeah.
Right? There's probably a deep, rich lore.
Yeah.
Or there isn't. Because really it's just like, remember when they were shoveling coal in Titanic? What if that? Yeah. Why would they have this? What are you doing?
And again, in a better movie, I think that this is common in a lot of bad stuff we talk about. In a better movie, wouldn't bother me.
Of course
it'd be
not.
like, oh, that's kind of fun. You know, how does the engine work? Doesn't really matter. They shovel coal.
Yeah.
Because it's a throwback.
Yeah.
But in this, you're like, if this movie is so fundamentally uninteresting and the characters are so fundamentally uninteresting that you start asking questions about this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with the grain.
With the grain, yeah, exactly. But also, you can blow up the grain now.
Yeah.
Because it's fine. Because the Scargiver has come to them. And then you've got 10 minutes for them to slowly crank the fucking wheel that lines up.
That's right. Yeah.
God damn.
Ready to fire. Well, then prepare to fire.
Click, 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 click.
We're blind. It's charged and ready to fire. Again, if
it didn't. It blew up.
It did blow up.
Somebody, I don't even remember. Somebody sabotaged it.
Somebody set up a bomb. Yeah, don't worry about it.
And the final showdown before Ed Skrein fights the Scargiver, the dude, her mate, who's from the village.
Yes.
He's on a ship behind Ed Skrein and doesn't shoot Ed Skrein like immediately.
Yeah,
He shoots the other guy. You'd shoot him first, right? He's the guy. She's fine. She's never been shot in her life. It's not going to happen now. Not at the end of the movie. But the one action scene which I thought was all right was when they're sliding down the wall of the ship.
Right,
the side of the ship. I didn't mind that.
The ship is mostly exploded.
Yeah,
and the Scargiver and Ed Skrein, Admiral Noble, they're tumbling through the cargo area or whatever.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, Ed Skrein's got incredible super strength now. How is that going to play out in the final battle? It won't.
No.
Because she's just better at fighting than him.
She's better.
She's always been better at fighting.
She's got a haircut.
She's never had a moment of doubt. She's super streamlined.
No,
she's
remember she's like, I think we should actually give them all the grain or whatever. Remember she has that conversation. There's a moment of doubt, but then they all start kicking each other or whatever.
Yeah. But there's never, it's never interesting.
No.
It's never like, well, how's she going to change her fighting style now that he is
super strong.
So super strong?
Or got a sword or whatever.
Doesn't change anything.
No, doesn't really.
Never at any point.
Well, so there's moments in this where like regular army officers there's probably a ranking system of who gets a sword and who doesn't, who gets a blue sword. See them like blocking bullets? I don't know what that is. Like, is there magic? Is this it is a magic universe because there's a magic invincible princess who can come back from the dead. But why can you
I don't know, man.
block, is it magnetized so it pulls in the bullets?
That's actually, wow, that's good. You've justified it. And that's why.
That's why.
Somebody's going to ask Zack Snyder why that is, and he's going to be like, well, it's magnetize the bullets, and then they'll melt down on the laser blade or whatever.
Could you believe, however, that she managed to beat Ed Skrein for the second time somehow?
Yeah.
How?
Well, she's just better at fighting.
But did you think she could do it twice?
Yeah. Yeah, I did believe that.
And we didn't even see the beheading.
No, that's true. We will, though, in the R-rated version.
I'm not watching this again.
No, I mean,
any versions of this. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. God. Oh, the army shows up, the other army. It's like, I'm here. I'm from the other one.
Again, you could have shown up months ago. That would have helped. Yeah.
God, I do want to talk...
The Blood Axe army, yeah.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the future of all of this. But if you've got any more notes you'd like to get into.
I don't think so. Just
I got some reviews here.
Bad and boring, just nothing. Again...
we talked about this last time. I want like weird fucking Star Wars or whatever. Like I would love a universe where it's like this is fresh and unique, or even it takes tropes and twists them.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's nothing in this.
There's no edge to it. Even
there's nothing in this that is comparable to a Star Wars or anything like that.
Except the stuff which is just Star Wars.
This is less of a painful homage to all the other stuff, though. That's how I felt. Less of this movie, I went, oh, this is just Avatar, this is just Star Wars, this is just what have you.
Yeah.
But there's no scene in this where I went, oh, this is gonna stay in like this is gonna appear in a list of all-time greatest sci-fi action scenes or whatever. And just again talking about Star Wars, the trench run. You think that Luke Skywalker is gonna cop it.
Yeah.
He's gonna cop it in the back of the head.
God.
But then our lovable Rogue Han Solo shows up and you're like, I love that. I love his character development, and that's how we know he's gonna come back. It's a trope and it's
exactly.
At this point it's so well worn, but it's based on the characters.
builds the tension
It builds
and-
the tension, and then it pays off, and you're like,
Yeah.
yes.
But
He's
also,
changed
like,
his evil ways.
Here's a thought.
Yes.
Picture a ship from this.
Sort of a submarine?
Yeah. Like, where's the iconic kind of, what do the bad guys wear? I don't know, like a Ninja Turtle armor? I don't know. What
No, I
color
don't
is
know.
it? Brownish?
Brownish
green?
greyish, yeah.
Like, what are the drop ships? I don't know. There's kind of bug ships from Man of Steel, kind of.
They're sort
kind
of
of
bug
that.
ships, aren't they? Yeah.
Like, where's the, do
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying. Does the main battleship have a force field? Because when it blows up, I think it looks like the force field shuts down or something. But I don't recall
was
it having,
attacking it?
I don't recall it having a force field.
Did anybody
initially.
attack it
I don't know.
directly?
I don't know. Did anybody try?
No, they went inside it, Mason.
Yeah.
Here's some reviews. It's by C-Ray, who says, just woke up from watching Rebel Moon Part 2. Thank God for Jimon.
I was knocked unconscious by it, by the spectacle.
Thank God for Jimon Honsu. Otherwise, fuck that movie and fuck the director's cut for good measure. This universe is dead to me. Worst movie ever. My goodness. Benson Maid said, did you watch Rebel Moon Part 2? Yes. He said, doesn't matter. Abigail.
Oh, we just did.
Abigail, why don't you kidnap a vampire was more fun. And don't miss Boy Kills World next week about Bill Skarsgård voiced by Archer. Is that next week? We should do that actually.
That's also the Fall Guy next week.
Oh, we'll do one of those.
One or the other.
It's from WDIM TV and Movie Breakdowns, who says, I thought Rebel Moon the Scargiver was the best movie ever. I don't know what people expected, but if you have ever seen a Zack Snyder film, I think you expect things like singing and people yelling a lot. Jimon Honsu chews up the scenery once again. He's getting a lot of play here. Russell Michaels says, this movie is so boring for 40 minutes. Then there's a big flashback exposition dump that was blatantly stolen from Book 3 of the Iron Druid Chronicles, and then a space laser gun Magnificent 7. 6 more, WME.
Wow.
Which is worst movie
I don't
ever.
think Zack Snyder has stolen this from the Iron Druid, whatever. Again, I think it's probably they've just had a similar idea for an action sequence.
Sure, yeah.
And someone's pulled it off better than the other
God.
guy, I think.
So you know about the future of this. Do you mind if we get into this a little
He
bit?
said something along the lines of, I think we could do 6 of these.
Yeah, I reckon.
Because he does 2 at a time.
Yes. So here's what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the future. He said before that. Also, I mentioned this last time. He seems like a nice guy.
He does,
like
doesn't
I
he?
don't. I don't take. I'm not like good. Finally, fucking like
We got
I don't-
him.
No, I don't. I don't like a lot of his movies. Also, really. He said it's a massive IP and a universe that can be built out. So we've got a novelized.
IP freely.
Whoa. Novelization, a 4-issue prequel comic entitled Rebel Moon House of the Blood Axe. There's a super evil Megacorp that was developing a 4-player co-op game that will be exclusively available at Netflix Games in 2023.
Oh my God, those four players, they're going to have such a wealth of variety of weapons and moves. Everybody's going to be able to
Blood Axe.
slow-mo and shoot a gun.
Yeah. In November of 2023, a narrative podcast, an animated comic book, and an animated series were announced to be in development, with each project taking place chronologically before the feature films. There's an animated short that tells the story of Kali and the shadowy figures who power the Motherworld's most dangerous technology. I don't know who that is. Snyder also announced in July of 2023 plans for a TV series focusing on the Basilarus. There's also a super.
Wait, who is that?
I don't know.
I'll give you $100 if you can tell me who that is.
can't.
I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think about it.
Is it the Emperor's? Is that them? Is it them, or is it a man?
Is it the spider lady?
No, that's a different thing.
He has to look it up. He's forfeited.
I am. Was it Regent Basilius? Oh, he's the Emperor. There you go. I didn't know that.
Did you say 4 issues on? What did you say? What's he getting?
I don't know.
Okay,
That was a
great.
mini-series or something.
He's getting a mini-series.
It's the guy with the beard who goes, you betrayed the princess because you shot her.
He's not a character, that
No,
guy.
he's the Emperor,
He's just
Mason.
a guy, that guy.
Yeah, he's just
you mean
a-
the guy and he's got the sort of glassy eyes?
Yeah,
and he's got a beard.
he's the
He's got
guy.
a big braiding on his shoulders and he's like, you did it.
Yeah.
No. Who is he?
I don't know.
What actor is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he Zack Snyder's brother or something?
Yeah, he's Zack Snyder's brother.
Wow.
There's a super sexy extended R-rated cut. Forbes is saying, speaking of Forbes, that they're 3 hours each, and it's going to be 6 hours in total. There's also, within that, there's going to be a graphic alien tentacle sex scene. Rebel Moon Part 3 is apparently confirmed by Netflix. This is via Radio Times. As Zack Snyder said, I guess 4 makes sense. 4 or 6 movies. Depending.
Yep.
I guess it's whether or not every time we make one of those movies, we make 2. That's the question. We were talking about it the other day, and I was like, would an audience be disappointed if they only got 1 movie now from Rebel Moon? Would they be like, oh, it's 1 now? Great. So yeah.
Great.
But a 3rd movie hasn't officially been confirmed by Netflix, apparently. I think this is done. I don't know this. We don't have any streaming numbers. Netflix are also going to stop reporting streaming numbers or subscribers next year.
Sure.
There is no way that this would do better than the first one. If you didn't have to do this,
I wouldn't have watched
legally.
It. Absolutely. That's right.
Would you have watched this?
No,
I wouldn't have finished the first one.
No, I would have stopped watching this 10 minutes in, probably.
Yeah.
It's fascinating that it's just defend the village again.
Yeah.
Is that what the third one's going to be? Just defend the village
No, you
again?
go, the emperor, the daughters and the emperor's there. And he's
they've got to find, they've got on an adventure.
I'm in charge.
They've got to go on an adventure.
Can't wait till she kills that guy.
I can't wait until they're like, the only way we're going to get into the palace and run down the corridors. I hope we can defeat his royal guard. We'll do it with slow-mo and guns.
Yeah, man.
And they'll be like, what is this?
We've never experienced anything.
Yeah.
We've never left this room. None of you have left any rooms, it looks like.
Yeah.
It really feels that way. You were born in that room.
There's not even a sequence where they go into a corridor and they're being besieged and there's a mounted gun turret or something like, how can I get around this creatively? Nah, just keep walking and shooting and they won't know what to do.
I'm going to counter that.
Yes.
There might be a sequence like that. I don't know.
No, there might be. There might be on the battlefield at some point.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this movie
I mean, the tank thing, I guess,
sure.
is that.
This movie looked realer than the last one. I think they made use of the village more. It felt more real locations when they were on Earth-ish or whatever. It felt like they built sets and stuff and was in a wheat field.
Wow.
God. This is over, right? Like it's done.
No, they're going to do 3.
I don't think so. That would be a crazy investment to make.
But if they've already
Unless
spent
there's numbers here that we don't know about. I don't think they have.
Okay.
I don't think it hasn't been greenlit. I think they're just saying, look, we'll see how this goes. We'll say that we want to do more because then he's going to promote it. He's going to go out and do the
hashtag restore the Rebel universe.
And then I think we're just going to stop hearing about it or hear less and less, and we get asked in interviews and be like, yeah, we got jumped on a call the other day and whatever.
Yeah, sure,
and it's going to be that for the next 5 years.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I think. I'd love to be wrong because who doesn't want to revisit the Rebel Moon-averse?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't make me. I don't want that anymore. God. Anyway, should we move it along?
Let's move it along to what we're reading.
Yeah.
What we're going to read.
Doesn't feel good, Mason.
No, awful. I watched it Saturday night. I could have been out doing anything.
That's one of the last nights at the comedy festival.
Yeah.
My God. I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? I'm Batman. That's a famous character I was doing in between segments.
I love that. That was good.
Batman.
Yep, absolutely.
Mason,
Yes.
This is the part of the show where we talk about what we have read or watched or going to. Let me quickly just say, I bought a ticket for Late Night with the Devil. I'm going to see Late Night with the Devil.
Go on.
And what did he think of it? And then I was really excited.
Yeah.
So I went down, went to the cinema. No one was there, so I just walked through, got my seat. I'm like, there's too many seats in this row than what it says on my ticket. Turns out I bought a ticket to the wrong cinema.
Nice.
And the cinema that I went to, it wasn't playing. So I haven't seen Late Night with the Devil, but I have paid for a ticket.
That's terrific.
It is out on streaming this weekend or last weekend.
Could be
or
on
whatever.
Shudder.
Yeah, I think it is on Shudder, so I will watch it. But anyway, it's good to support local theatre,
Even
if you go home, because they started playing the movie Civil War, and you went, "Oh, I've seen this."
That's exactly right. Yeah. Oh, interestingly, our friend Alexi Toliopoulos on his show, his podcast, The Last Video Store, he's got an interview with David Dashkamalshian.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
So
yes.
I haven't listened to that yet, but I bet it's interesting.
That's cool, man. I'm looking forward to watching
otherwise, after I watched Rebel Moon Part 2, I realised that Mission Impossible Part 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1 is on streaming now. Just free on streaming, and so I watched that. Mike, as a real palate cleanser, I watched that.
You watched a good movie.
I did watch a good movie. And again, this is the first time I've watched it since the cinema. And again, it's, I think our opinion of that one sort of holds true still. It's not the best of the Mission Impossible movies.
Pretty good, though.
But I think it was still pretty good.
Yeah.
Good, fun action set pieces that you remember.
What if AI was going to get Tom Cruise?
But it won't, though, because he's got the power of friendship.
And a parachute.
Yep.
And he's ready.
That's right.
I saw an interview with Rebecca Ferguson this week where she was asked about doing those movies and leaving the franchise and all of that. And she said they're really exciting to do them, whatever, but it's a lot because they keep expanding and the character expanding. You just sit around for months
Right.
waiting for your thing to happen, and you kind of don't know when it's going to happen.
Sure, okay,
And it's
yeah.
like this incredible like adrenaline rush when you get to do the thing and whatever. But she's like, I've shot like 2 TV shows like in between.
Right, yes.
Like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, you know.
Yeah. On Dune, all I have to do is like wear a veil and
someone goes,
and you go, oh, the prophecy.
That's right.
And then you leave. Cash your check.
I mean, look at Rebel Moon Part 2 compared to Dune Part 2.
Part 2, right?
Come on, man. That's something we should have brought up in our review.
Yeah.
Now we haven't.
But it's too late. But guess what? Dune 2 Part 2 is better.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit better.
It's a little bit better in many ways. But it is an adaptation.
Yeah.
They're just using existing stuff.
I want original stuff, Mason.
But again, a lot of the Dune stuff is original because they've changed, stuff from the books. Allegedly.
No, not good enough. I want a completely fresh idea.
Rebel Moon Part 2?
Yes.
Nice.
Speaking of completely fresh ideas, we wanted to give a quick talk about Fallout.
Let's do a quick talk about.
On Amazon Prime.
That's right.
Which was woke, but then it came out and it did really well and people like it, so it's not woke anymore.
That's good.
Thank God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terrific.
Now, you finished it? I finished it.
Yeah.
What I would say is that Jonathan Nolan, who
Westworld?
he created this and
The
he also
Darkness?
created Westworld.
Yep.
Boy, he really loves a guy who exists in 2 time periods at once.
Oh my God.
That's his favorite thing in the world to do.
It is,
and
isn't
then
it?
to tie them together towards the end.
Do you think this is going to Westworld Season 2 in Season 2 of this?
By that you mean people really like the first season and none of the other seasons?
They're going to stagger the episodes, Nick. It's been confirmed. They're going to stagger them, I reckon. There's no way. I was so surprised that all the episodes dropped
Well,
at
we're
once.
talking about this now, but I also feel like we're too late to talk about it. Like this is people have
Everyone
watched
talked about it the
it's
day
done,
it came out.
It's everybody churned through it and just that talked about the finale and what have you in the first day, and we're late.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's good. It's a good
very
series.
good.
A lot of fun.
It's set in the gaming continuity, apparently, but apparently some of the timeline stuff doesn't hold up, and that's maybe the reason why it's not very good, actually. I don't give a shit at all.
Yeah.
I don't care if it completely wipes out all the existing continuity. Nothing matters.
There's something the complaint I heard was that some element of the
Vegas something.
Yeah, some element of the closing title sequences suggests that New Vegas, which is the setting of Fallout New Vegas, has been destroyed, so we can't see anything
That
of
doesn't
that in
make.
the show.
I hate that then.
Yeah, but I mean, they can just.
I'm angry.
Yeah,
Maybe there's even newer Vegas.
there might be an even newer Vegas.
Newer
exactly
Vegas,
right.
yeah.
Look, I like the characters.
Yep.
I
like the big clunky suits.
Yep, absolutely.
I like that they seem, for the most part, practical. Like it's someone in stilts. Like when you
Absolutely.
see someone with like a big Thanos costume.
Yeah,
and
absolutely, yes.
It's like a
Uh-huh.
normal-sized person in
Yeah.
an oversized suit and whatever.
Sure.
I like that. The ghoul is great, of course. The good face.
Could be goopier, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but he's dry. He's a dry ghoul. We talked about this.
Yeah, that's true, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of the lore from this universe, like, I don't know. I know when, like, a gun or a wrist thing turns up, people are like, that's the thing.
Yeah, I
don't
guess
know
I
any of that.
assumed that this was a parallel universe that branched off in the 1950s, like that our universe was the same, but it's not.
It's not?
It doesn't seem that way, no. Because it's already, the flashback sequence is set in...
It's already the future.
It's already the future, yeah.
But their TVs are bad
That's right.
for some reason again.
Anyway, this is good analysis, I think.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
It was Kyle MacLachlan's in this as well.
That's true.
It was a lot of fun. I think just it also feels like there is a strange like surreal reality to it when you're in the bunker and some of the weaponry and the armor. It looks like too polished and too neat and nice. But then you'll also go into the real world and it's awful.
Yes,
So I think it really balances those things well. And the lead, who I cannot remember
Name's
the
Ella
name.
Purnell.
Yeah, she's great. And just watching her character like evolve.
She could have been a live-action Battle Angel Alita.
Sure.
She's got the giant eyes.
Giant battle angel eyes. Yeah. Aaron Clifton Moten is really good as Maximus as well. I don't know. What else do you want to say, Mason?
It's nice to see Michael Rappaport get mauled by a bear.
Oh, yeah. That was good, wasn't
Bit
it?
of fun.
That's
A lot
fun.
of interesting creature designs.
Yeah.
One, and
There's a gooey kind of axolotl
yeah, that's fun.
giant kind of situation.
Yeah.
I like the mystery of it unfolding as well and like how the vaults are connected and how
Yeah.
this all kind of unfolded.
What I also liked is, even though it was only 8 episodes, there was enough time for what some people would probably call filler episodes, just sort of like side adventures. There's an episode where the two leads find themselves in another bunker where they're like, oh,
Yeah.
this actually would be a nice place to settle down, and it turns out everybody's in a weird cult.
Yeah.
But also, there's...
And it's what's his name? And he's got one eye.
Yeah.
What's his name?
That is Chris Parnell, I think.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And he's in Archer, isn't he?
He is, he sure is.
Yeah. I enjoyed all of that. But, you know, it's sometimes like everything is a conspiracy, but sometimes it's not. Yeah. I think it's also it's gooey and gory when it needs to be and all of that.
Unlike some other movies / TV shows we could think of, Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, where you see a guy, he gets beheaded, but you don't even see it.
It's not even gooey or gory.
Not even gooey or gory.
Yeah. Look, we probably should have done a full episode on this. We haven't. But that's Rebel Moon 2's fault.
That's right.
So you can direct all your correspondence to Netflix.
You can go onto Vero, Zack Snyder's social media site, and you can tell him don't actually do this.
No.
Don't actually go to him and say, I would have liked to hear the Weekly Planet talk about Fallout for an episode, but they had to watch Rebel Moon Part 2. That would be rude of you.
Yeah, that's
Even though it is true. But he doesn't need to hear the truth.
No.
He needs to hear people say that they loved his slow-mo.
Yeah.
And to do a third one, or a third and a fourth one.
Please, we would love that. If he shoots 2 movies back to back, he can then split those movies into an additional 2 movies.
That's exactly right.
Easy done.
The Ruder editions.
The Ruder editions. Yeah. All right. Should we move it along?
Anything else?
No. Yeah. I mean, the irradiated bear's great. You mentioned like creatures and...
Yeah. Oh, I read a comic book. It's Roxxon Presents Thor.
Okay.
It's
what does he work for them? What is that?
No, Roxxon. In the Marvel universe, the Roxxon Corporation is an evil, all-purpose evil corporation. They're polluters. They're the worst of everything.
Oh yeah.
And they're also their CEO is Dario Agger, who's the Minotaur. He's a mystical Minotaur.
Okay.
Remember that? When they were casting Thor: Love and Thunder, a lot of people suggested that Christian Bale might have been that character.
Yeah.
Because he's like a slick 80s businessman. But he's also a Minotaur.
We talked about it, yeah.
But in this series, the bad guys have decided to get revenge on Thor by purchasing all the rights to the Thor comic books in the Marvel Universe because there's...
and
they've built their own Thor who's like a Roxxon puppet.
Is he a superhuman dude or is he a robot Thor like there has been prior?
No, he's a dude.
He's a dude.
He's a dude. But it's by Al Ewing, who did a series that I really like called The Ultimates.
Yeah.
Not that Ultimates, but another Ultimates. Not the current Ultimates and not the original Ultimates, but a
was one in
mid-period
between.
Ultimates that nobody else besides me has read, apparently, but it was good. But I like his work. And it's a bit meta, and I love the fact that they've involved, because there's a real Marvel Comics in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That make comics.
So if you've got a hidden identity in the Marvel Universe, like you're Spider-Man, and people don't know that Peter Parker, and there's a Spider-Man comic, is it just about
a guy? Yeah,
like,
and I guess you never. Yeah, in the comics, I guess you never see his real identity in the comic books.
Wow.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like it either.
It's rude.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's everything we've ever done.
That's exactly right.
But not everything.
No, now it's time for letters.
You've got to play that letters theme from your phone.
Play the letters theme.
The classic one was letters, oh letters.
Can you clap with me or you can't because you're holding your phone?
They're only a day away. We're going to hear right now. We're going to do letters.
We did it, I think.
If you do want to reach the show. Oh, settle down, everyone. If you do want to reach the show.
Folks, please. Also, thanks to everybody who popped in for the Do Go Online show.
Oh, yeah. I was there too, wasn't I?
You weren't there. Right?
How was it?
It was good. Good fun.
I was there. I
You
remember.
weren't there. Yeah, we weren't there.
What was the crowd like? Were they hooting and hollering?
They were
Or
hooting
were they
and
nice?
hollering.
Did they shut up when they needed to?
No. They were rude. They ran us out of town.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
no, they
no.
were good. The show did sell out in the end. So
Yeah, thank God.
yeah, that's right.
Embarrassing
So,
if not.
very, very fun time. So thanks everybody for coming out and saying hi, and it was all good.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Anyway, if you do want to reach the show, you can hashtag Weekly Planet Pod on Twitter.
That's right.
Or weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com if you want to send a Gmail. There's so much going on this week, Mason. Do you have any Gmails?
Yes, here's an email from Soybeans.
Soybeans.
Love the podcast. You silly goofballs make me smile through my tears of writing a master's thesis.
Oh,
I've
wait,
always
tears because
wondered-
you're sadly writing a master's
It
thesis?
seems that way.
In conclusion.
Scientific method.
You got to do something you love. You'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, that's right. Climate change, the world's ending. Get over it.
Get over it.
Get over it.
We're over it.
Yeah.
We didn't even care anymore.
That's right. We've got content to watch. I've always wondered what is, in fact, the worst thing you guys have ever watched for the podcast.
Fuck.
Can't wait to listen to you guys have a bit of a rant on Rebel Moon Part 2. Could not be bothered to watch it through the first 5 minutes myself. Best regards and all that.
Madam Web was really bad. That strikes me as a recent
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
I think Morbius was worse, though, because it's boring.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think that I don't know if I have a definitive answer for this, but I would say that it is way better to have something that is atrocious on the podcast that we can trash as opposed to just, well, this was okay, I guess. If we're
Those
struggling,
are the worst things to watch.
They
also.
are, yeah.
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 Mm.
Where would you...
Bloodshot. Boring.
Bloodshot was boring.
Yeah.
That's right.
But sorry, go on.
Like at least Rebel Moon has a lot of stuff that is inexplicable that we can talk. Like if it's just a competently made movie that doesn't surprise you in any way, that's a bad thing to watch.
I completely agree with that.
But the thing about that is also you forget that they exist.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
Bloodshot. That's one of them, isn't it?
That certainly is.
I think of a second one.
Right? See, that's the thing. They just disappear.
Yeah.
They just disappear.
What's another one?
What did we watch that wasn't Avatar, the TV series?
Oh, yeah. No, I
it.
remembered a little bit more of that.
I didn't like that's it's not the worst thing by any means, but it fits in that category.
Yeah, I thought it was
it's competently made for the most part, but it did not grab me. And maybe if I loved that series, maybe it would have grabbed me.
No, well, I love that series and it didn't grab me.
Well.
God, I'm just going through Ghostbusters. Blech.
Okay, right, yeah.
Black.
Look, I can certainly see, especially the first reboot, the Afterlife one. I could see how you'd be like, this doesn't have anything for me to grab onto. You know?
Okay, yeah. And you love grabbing onto stuff.
That's right,
you?
yep.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm just going through the list here. Flash. You know what, Little Mermaid? Like nothing. That was nothing.
Yeah.
God.
Absolutely. You know what? That would be my answer. It would be a Lion King live action reboot, something like that.
Yeah. Because
it doesn't have anything for me to grab onto. It is, I guess, competently made, but all I can really say about it is
I've actually forgot. What are we actually talking about? Like, what was the property?
What's the worst thing?
No. What was the thing that you were just talking about then? Because I forgot.
Avatar.
Okay. No, the other thing you were talking about. We were on to something else, weren't we?
Nope.
I thought we said another thing just then. God, I ain't fucking. This is hard, Mason.
It is, right?
It's hard.
Have you Googled forgettable
No,
things?
I'm going through our old episodes.
Right.
No, because I said.
Mm-hmm.
I said the Little Mermaid. That's what I said.
Yes, that's exactly.
That's how we got
You
there.
did say the Little
God, I had to
Mermaid,
go back through the episodes and figure it out.
I mean, that to me, that is the prime example. I don't look forward to watching those. Your Lion King, Aladdin was an exception, but your Lion King, your Little Mermaid, etc., because they are, I would say, competently made.
Yep. And it's the thing, isn't it? It's the thing. Like, it's the thing. You recognize the thing.
I do recognize the thing, but it's not gonna, I'm not gonna be like, whoa, this has blown my mind.
Yeah.
What? Look at this new sequence in it.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
So that's why I just come across our Don't Worry Darling episode.
Yeah.
Where like, no, that movie does not work really, but at least it's interesting.
That's right. There you go.
See, for example, Lightyear, dreadful. No, I'm just going back through time and looking through at different things.
Speaking of that one, Ryan Reynolds time travel fighter pilot.
Okay, yeah.
That one. That's
his dad's a
competently made
thing in the whatever.
Yeah.
His dad's a thing in the whatever.
But I don't think we will ever nail down what is the worst thing.
No.
But for me, it would be in that. It's in that channel there somewhere.
Yeah.
Well made, forgettable.
Yeah. Maybe some of those new Halloween movies, but which ones I don't know. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's do this tweet that I've got, Mason, from Tommy West, who says, #Weekly Planet Pod. Have you guys watched the Icons Unearthed Batman series on Vice? I've never heard of this.
No, never.
I was fascinated by it. It'd be great to see Patrick Stewart as a Shakespearean Mr. Freeze. What is this?
I don't know.
It's a series and something. Oh, okay. It hasn't got that many views. It's just about history of various Batmans happening.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, I'll check it out. I'll put it in my watch next. It's from Chad. It says #Weekly Planet Pod. You might have seen this. It's an article from Kotaku titled "First AI-generated romance film looks like shit." And here's the tweet.
Okay, I did see some stills from that.
Article might be worth a quick read, assuming you haven't heard of it already. The first fully AI-generated film is releasing sometime this summer, and man, if watching that trailer doesn't make my skin crawl. Do you want to quickly just have a look at it together?
I've seen some of the stills.
I haven't watched it in live action. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, let's do that together. It's just smooth people looking at the camera.
Fucking awful. Yeah, here we go.
So, Claire, what's your style?
Looks like Don Johnson.
City of Lights. I'm hoping it's a new start.
I don't think we have to pray for long.
This song is AI generated.
Dark, mysterious kind of man who never shows his vulnerability.
Gotta see it the way it is.
God.
I fucking hate this.
Woman who's never sure what you want.
They don't even look the same scene to scene.
Wow. Wow.
Nice journey. Sometimes the heart moves too fast. No, wait, don't.
Unbelievable.
But if you time it just right, that's when love.
Why did the clock
The
just
clock-
spring forward
skip
5
5
minutes?
I'm not going to let you go.
Wow. Terrible. Awful. Nothing. Means nothing. But I mean, sure, all actors should now quit. Because they've been
Yeah.
superseded by a completely blank-faced woman going, no, don't go.
But her mouth's not moving sometimes.
Yeah, great.
Wasn't
really.
that the worst thing you've ever seen?
That's awful.
Fuck. It was also worse than I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah.
Remember the bit where they were walking?
Oh, I remember the bit where they were walking. You know what I loved about that is that there wasn't any semblance of what is the
What
plot.
is it?
What is the plot? Like, from what I could tell, they meet on a train
Yeah.
and they're both going to Paris
yeah.
and then they go to Paris.
But
and
you
then,
only know that because of the title. I
yeah.
assume.
No, and then they walk on a bridge in Paris and then
Don't go.
one of them has to go and then they get on a motorcycle.
Yep.
And then she says, don't go, and then they're back together again.
Yep. And there's lots of shots of different trains.
Yeah.
Hated that. Hated it.
Yeah.
And look, it'll get better.
Yeah, technologically it'll get better.
Yeah. But like you still need creative concepts.
I don't know.
You don't? I wouldn't. I was even looking at that and thinking, like, do we do a movie commentary on that? But what would you even?
What would you even say?
do?
Exactly. I think there would be a lot of silence from us.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, this isn't anything. How long? Is it going to be an hour? 2 hours?
Surely not.
Right?
Surely that's like,
20 minutes.
You'd
Maybe.
think.
You could churn that out.
God. Ugh.
Ugh.
You feel that?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yucky.
Right.
It just, you know what it does? And here's the thing as well, that like, I don't think that could sustain more than that. Like
No.
more than the minute that trailer took. Because you look at I guess that evokes, if you switch your brain off, it evokes images and you go, oh, Paris, that seems nice.
Yeah.
Oh, out in Paris at night, that's nice. You could, the experience and the food and travel and, oh, what if you had some romance?
What if
Okay,
you
that's
did?
nice. Like it just evokes just that part of your brain, and it's like, well, it's nice.
Yeah.
Could be nice, but it doesn't. That's not anything.
Sick.
Yeah, that's right.
What next, Mason?
Here's an email. This is from Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
Hey guys, love the pod and every single caravan of garbage Mason guesses the Joker movie quiz video you do.
Oh, yeah. Those are good, aren't
we
they?
also like those.
Those are good.
I recently saw a coming-of-age movie named Snack Shack while preparing to move out for the first time, and it made me curious if you guys had any favorites from that genre, coming-of-age.
Snack Shack.
No, coming-of-age movies. Not movies called Snack Shack. I really like Adventureland.
Adventureland's good. It's got Ryan Reynolds.
Speaking of that, Ryan Reynolds, that's a good one. And Kristen
Did we talk about
Stewart.
this recently?
We might have.
Yeah.
But so it's Kristen Stewart and Jesse
Jesse
Eisenberg.
Eisenberg.
That's a good one, I think.
Yep.
That's evokes that era.
Oh, yeah. Boy, that's a good one.
Uh-huh.
That's the first, is it the first Taika Waititi movie? Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
Edge of 17's good. Superbad's great.
Have you seen The Way, Way Back? I think that one's quite good.
Which one's that?
That
that
one
with
is.
Steve Carell? No. No, it
it's-
is with Steve Carell. Yeah,
it is
The Way
Steve
Back
Carell,
is
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Is that the one that's got Ryan Reynolds in it? No, that's got Sam Rockwell.
It's got Sam Rockwell in it, yeah.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, that's a good Sam Rockwell, I reckon.
Well, Bend It Like Beckham, that is a good one too. Turning Red, that's a good one.
Is it?
Juno is a good one.
Okay, but what's your favourite? Mine's still Adventureland, I think.
Mine's probably maybe Boy.
Okay.
Do you really like Dead Poet Society? Stand By Me. I'm just going to say Stand By Me.
Stand By Me
It's
is
a good movie.
yeah, I mean,
Or Superbad.
Stand By Me stands the test of time because I had to see that in school.
Yeah.
And it's still good.
And it's still good.
Still good.
Wow. Imagine seeing something and it's still good.
Right?
Can you imagine?
I honestly can't imagine that.
I agree. What else have I got here, Mason? I got one more.
Okay, go for it.
It's from Manda Man. Welcome back. who says hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. Mates, I'm having a really rough go of it this week, but no matter how cloudy the day, you boys are always that little ray of sunshine. To cheer me up, can you tell me the best thing that happened to you this month? Ooh, cheers, mates. Thank you for the warm sunshine. I saw my son do cross country, and he did really well. He didn't win, because who wants to win?
Yeah.
Not me.
Oh.
And not him, it turned out. He didn't want it badly enough. But it was just seeing him do it and not stop, and just like, it was like, that was great.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
job.
he didn't win, did he?
No, he didn't win.
That's right.
That's why I'm mad.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, the comedy festival's on, and that's my
Oh,
favourite
yeah.
time of year. Just enjoing that generally. Ran into our friend Michael Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Just on the street. We had
How's
a
he
slice of
doing?
pizza. We didn't share a slice of pizza. We didn't do it Lady in the Tramp style.
Why not?
Because that would be weird.
Yeah.
We got separate slices of pizza.
That's very
And we
good.
just had a nice chat and it was a great time.
That's cool.
Lovely time catching up with people.
I'd never met him, but Xavier Michaelides, I just happened to run into him the other night when I was in the city. That was cool to meet him. And I was like, I know and like you. And he's like, I know who you are. But he didn't say he liked me.
No, wow.
Check out we talked about this, his Instagram. He's one of the things he's doing at the moment is Bunnings commercials with face replacement.
They're very good.
Yeah, they're very, very good, as I told him. But he wouldn't listen.
That's right.
Yeah.
He just kept saying, I know who you are. I know who you
got any more?
are.
Are we wrapping
Here's
it
one
up?
more email from Garrett.
Garrett.
Long-time listener, second-time writer.
Wow.
Thought about this a while ago, but the recent Mad Max Caravan of Garbage made me think of it again. James Bond and Mad Max both switch out the lead actor and allows them to just keep pumping out movies with the new guys.
Agreed.
Why didn't Indiana Jones do this?
Yep, agreed.
2 questions. 1, if Indiana Jones switch actors, who would you like to see? Number 2, what other movie franchises would work well under this model?
I'm just going to say and someone new for Indiana Jones. Don't take an existing actor. Take
New
someone
guy.
new
Yeah.
guy. But Scott Eastwood, obviously. What about you?
Oh, 100% Scott Eastwood, yeah.
Who would you choose? Could you swap out Ethan Hunt or just go to another Mission Impossible man?
I don't think you could swap out Ethan
But you could go to another Mission
I think you'd have
Impossible
to,
man.
yeah, I think you could do, yeah, I don't know a specific actor, but I think you could do,
Sherlock, obviously. You could Sherlock. I mean, they do that. Sherlock forever. Doctor Who, they could keep replacing the lead actor.
they could
That's
keep
a good
replacing,
one.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think if they wanted to replace, I think that a Mission Impossible franchise would be a tough call. You couldn't replace Ethan Hunt. You could do a new guy, but you would,
But he's got an Ethan Hunt mask.
yeah, but can you replace a series that has insane stunts with maybe that has less insane stunts?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know,
Because
you
the
could do-
linchpin is Tom Cruise.
The linchpin is Tom Cruise.
Interesting.
There are other interesting action sequences, but I think when you go to a Mission Impossible movie, you want at least one insane stunt.
Yep.
And
Scott Eastwood wouldn't do that, would
well,
he?
I mean, but you know, as is tradition, you could get a stunt guy to do it, but is it the same?
Yeah, okay.
You know, is the appeal that they do an insane stunt, or is the appeal that an actor does an insane stunt?
Okay, I see
know?
what you're saying, yeah.
You get maybe like a Hong Kong action guy.
Oh, okay.
To do a crazy thing.
That would be cool to do.
You get like a Scott Adsit. Wait, is that his name?
Adkins?
No, that's the guy from 30 Rock. You don't get the guy from 30 Rock.
You don't?
You get Scott Adkins.
Yeah, you would,
You
wouldn't
know
you?
that guy? He's a
He's
martial
always-
artist, actor, stunt guy.
He's a Batman.
Somebody like that, I reckon you could get in.
He's a Batman.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
But then you got to need everything else that comes with that. What about if they swapped out Jake Extraction? Would you be okay with that?
No.
For the Witcher's brother? No. For the guy who's replacing the Witcher, which is his brother.
Yeah, no, I don't think you do.
don't like that?
No, I don't like that at all.
What if you swapped out the cast of Sideways? For
Thomas Hayden Church
Yeah.
and Paul Giamatti for different sideways guys,
Yeah, yeah.
for 2 different drunks.
Yeah.
I guess you could do that, yeah.
Yeah, man.
You'd get Paul Mescal you know what? You get Paul Mescal and Andrew Scott as 2 drunks.
2 different drunks.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Sideways 2. Same universe. Earth. Different winery and they're drunk.
I wish I had, what's an ongoing series that you could whatever? You know what'd be cool? Fifth Element again, but
Different director.
yeah,
That guy's-
different director. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I was going to say Spider-Man, but they do that anyway, don't they? They just make a new universe.
Yeah. But again, I think the problem is, as we've discussed when we talked about, Star Wars, new Star Wars TV especially, and your Indiana Joneses, etc. These big companies, they don't want more stars.
Yep.
Because stars have demands, stars
Yes.
have big paychecks, stars have agents who want
Yep.
more and more.
Yep.
They don't want that. They want the character to survive. And it's...
What would you do with Die Hard then?
Oh.
Because obviously Bruce Willis is having multiple health issues.
Yeah.
That's done.
Who was his son in that? Was it Jai Courtney?
Jai Courtney, yeah. See, I like Jai Courtney.
Yeah,
I've said
same.
this
I do as
before.
well, but I don't think people are flocking to a Die Hard.
No.
Because I think what you would
I mean,
do
they didn't
there,
flock to the last one, did they?
yeah, you would want. I think you would want a supporting character from a Die Hard to replace existing. You know, it's the same universe, Earth,
Yes.
but it's another person who keeps getting into Die Hard situations.
They're always getting die-hearted.
So Steven Seagal.
Yes. Yes.
But I don't think the problem is they didn't really establish a new character that could get into those scrapes.
No.
You know?
You just recast.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you just be like, this is John McClane.
Scott Adkins.
Scott Adkins.
Or Scott Adsit, whichever.
Scott Adsit. Yes, very good. All right, is that it?
That's the whole show, folks.
Great.
Thank you so much for listening. We absolutely appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed.
Imagine if they replaced Tom Holland's Uncharted. Can you imagine?
Oh, I cannot
How do you
imagine.
replace such an iconic character?
Scott
in performance?
Atkins.
Yeah, that's actually...
Again, that's a guy who looks like Nathan Drake. And
He does.
And he's good at stunts and stuff and martial arts and what have you.
And you just rename it. If you're like, that's not Nathan Drake, you go, well, this is Drake and Nath.
Drake and Nath. Sounds like a Nickelodeon show. It's Drake and Nath that do stunts. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed watching and discussing Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, as much as we did. Which is, we
not at
hated
all.
it, but we like talking about it. And I think that's cool. And I think Zack Snyder has given us that beautiful gift.
I know.
think
Thank you
that's
so much,
wonderful.
Zack Snyder.
Folks, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling your friends about the podcast because that's how we get new listeners. And thank you
true.
for leaving a 5-star review on your podcast catcher of choice. You can do it in app most likely.
Yep.
And if you do so, James will read that out on the podcast. He's going to do it now.
I'm going to do it right now. This one's from TJ8200, who says,
TJ200.
excellent podcast, great fun. It's Morbin Time, Blue Harvest. Very good. This one's from at Katsuki 1996, who says, very interesting. I love the content.
Very interesting.
We love consuming and providing content also.
That's right.
And we give
We're
it-
just like you. We like consuming content.
That's right.
And discussing the content.
That's right.
Why don't you do it with us, listeners?
That's right. But we're not just like you because we have a podcast and you don't. But you probably
They do. They probably do. Everybody probably does.
Yeah.
Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. You
Yeah.
can also go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group and the Weekly Planet podcast subreddit and Discord for fun civil chats about podcasts and pop culture. Get in there, have a chat about Rebel Moon Part 2. I bet there's a thread and I bet
definitely
everybody's
would have
loving it.
been, yeah.
I bet they're revolting in there. They are revolting, but I bet they're also like, James and Meso are wrong. This movie's cool as balls.
Yeah, look, man, that's cool that you think that.
Yeah.
But it's not.
That's the beauty of the internet.
That's the
Everybody's
beauty
got
of
their little opinions,
cinema.
don't they?
It's the beauty of streaming.
It is, that's true.
Big streaming.
Thank you to Fidel and Maisie and Sarabi for moderating those forums and doing
Yes.
TikToks and Clips channels and all sorts of stuff.
my
If you want to
God.
follow some people on the socials, first follow our friend Rob Collins. He's at Rob Collins on Twitter.
Oh my
He's at The
God.
Weekly Planet on Twitter. He edits this podcast. He'll keep you
my
abreast
God.
of all the Weekly Planet comings and goings and news and stuff and
He has
clips
to.
and all. He has to. Yeah, he's not doing it for free.
No.
Is he?
I don't know. He has to, though.
Okay, that's great. That's great. You can also follow me on Twitter at Wikipedia Brown and on Instagram at Nick Maso.
Oh, yeah.
James is Mr. Sunday Movies.
Everywhere.
You want to support the show, you go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. Chuck in a buck or an amount you would not miss. Or you can go to bigsandwich.co, sign up for $9 per month, bonus podcasts, early videos, movie commentaries, video game let's plays, all sorts of stuff over there. Bonus stuff, all the bonus
my
stuff. You're
God.
logging in all the
It is
bonus
Boy
stuff.
Kills World and Fall Guy next week. God damn it. Sorry, go on.
We got a bit of time. We could probably see both.
We'll see.
We'll pick one.
Yeah, it would probably have to be the Fall Guy.
You could buy tickets to both.
Yep.
And then both times show up at the wrong cinema.
Oh, yeah, I
And not
could.
see either, but pay for both.
That is
You
the
can
thing I like to do.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
only way you can top the. You did a stunt this week.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can top it.
It's true.
You know.
All right, is that everything?
No.
Oh, God.
Thank you, the Brute and the Basilisk and Rack and for all our
All
musical
right.
themes. And get a T-shirt at TeePublic Weekly Planet. You just search for the Weekly Planet. I'll put it on there or
Please
something.
do.
Get one of the weird bootleg ones.
That's right. We don't care.
Yeah.
We do
just
not
says
care.
Weekly Planet in Comic Sans. Maybe that's an official one. I don't know.
We don't know.
It says Weekly Planet.
Is that 2Ks, 1E?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right. And that's the whole show. Next week, those things we
Those
said.
things,
Pick
probably.
one of those. We'll
Yeah,
let you know
great.
during the week.
Yeah.
Grab that, Jimmy, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.